Hi, my name's Pauline and I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to be showing you a little project I've made, and it's the pop-up cube card. So this one has been popped up quite a few times now, but it folds flat, and I've made this like slip wallet style packaging. And it just pops in, and then when the person receives it, they pull it out and the cube pops up. And I've used the Urban Underground suite from Stampin' Up. So I've used the Build It framelets and the Nailed It stamp set. Okay, so I'm going to show you how we put this together. So today I'm going to use a different colour scheme, and I'll show you how to make the box and the wallet, but I won't be doing any decoration. This is my first video, and I'm hoping that we can get through it smoothly and that you can see everything that I'm doing. So the first thing I'm gonna get is my score tool. So I'm going to be starting off with a piece of card, and it's Bermuda Bay, and it's 10.5 inches long by 5 inches down the side, and we're going to score on the long side at 2.5, 5, 7.5 and 10, and on the short side we're going to score at 1.25 and 3 3/4, sorry. So on the long side it's 2.5, 5, 7.5 and 10, and on the short side it's going to be 1.25, 1.25 and 3 3/4. So I'm coming at this at a strange angle just so you can see everything on the screen. So that's that bit done. Now what we have to do now, you've created a score across here, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 large rectangle panels, top and bottom. And what we're now going to do is we're going to find the center point of each of those rectangles, and we're going to make a mark. Okay, so I'm going to just make a little mark at 1.25, so just a little indent, 3 3/4, 6.25 and 8 3/4, and I'm just going to turn it round, and because I've got a small scored panel there, I'm just going to fold that so it doesn't get in the way whenever I do this side. So 1.25, 3 3/4, 6.25 and 8 3/4, and that has now given me a little center mark on each of these panels. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my diagonal scoreboard excuse me, and make sure, looking at the arrow, that I've got it the right way around. And what I have to do is make a diagonal score from the 1 1/4 mark to this first vertical score line here and the horizontal score line. So 1.25, and I'm going to put it towards me, there we go. Then 3 3/4, come out, then 6.25 and 8 3/4. Okay, and I'm going to turn the card around and do exactly the same on the bottom. So 1.25, 3 3/4, 6.25 and 8 3/4. And I now need to do the same, get a diagonal line going that way now. So I'm just going to flip the card over to the other side, and then I'll have 1.25, 3 3/4, 6.25 and 8 3/4. And again, I'm going to fold that little panel so I can do this side. So 1.25, 3 3/4, 6 1/4, and 8 3/4. So now we've got a zigzag, or little triangle panels have been created top and bottom of the card. On this shorter, smaller panel, I'm just going to remove the 2 rectangle panels, so that one and that one, and then I shall create just a little diagonal cut to create a tab. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I've got a template here and I've marked X's on all of the panels that we are going to remove, okay, to create our final template. I'm going to line it up so my template is the same direction that I have, so tab there, and I'm going to remove the first triangle, which is that one and that one, so these 2 panels, top and bottom, are going to come away. Okay, so that's that one. And then the next one I'm going to remove, so I'll miss one, and then I'm going to take this one away. Okay, so that one, and I'm going to do the same at the top. So now I've got that one, and I have to do this one. So we're going to take that one off. Okay. Right, so there we are, and then we've got to do the next one, which is this one. So remove that one, top and bottom. Okay, take the next one, so that's this one. So put that one. And then I've got to do the bottom panel, so cut that one. Okay, alright, and then we're going to leave that one and then cut the next 2. So make a triangle shape. And this is going to give us our cube template then, that we can create our pop-up. Okay, so there you go. I've removed all of the tabs, and I'm going to just fold and burnish. Now you can use a score tool, but for, again, speed of the video, I'm just going to do it by hand. Okay, I don't need the template anymore. And then don't forget these little tabs here. They're actually our tabs that we're going to use to glue the box together. Okay, this is our actual box that we're going to put together, so it will come together like so, create our cube. We need to have some little hooks on the inside to hold an elastic band in place. And if I show you on my original, so in here there's actually an elastic band that creates the tension to make your box pop up. So that band needs to be held quite securely inside. So we're going to have to make the 2 hooks. And to do that, you'll need a piece of card that is 2 inches by 1 1/4 inches. And you're going to pop it in your scoreboard, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1 1/2 inches. And then you'll be able to create a W fold. And then we're going to actually just fold it in half, and we're going to make a little cut. And you're going to notch out. Okay, so on that center score line, you're just going to cut a small notch like that. Okay, and then do exactly the same on the other side, and this is going to create a hook that will hold the rubber band. Okay, and if I show you on there, if you want to just get an idea of size, so at 1/4 of an inch I've cut in, done that on both sides. Okay, and that is going to create a little hook. So you'll glue these 2 tabs down either side of the score line, and then the elastic will fit around here. So I'll show you what that looks like on the actual box. So back to my cube, and what we're going to do is we're going to glue one on this side and one on that side. And I did bring brand new pot of Tombow, and I'm just going to put Tombow on that side, and I'm using Tombow because it's a very strong glue. Tombow that side, and then what we're going to do is we're going to pop that down, and if you center it roughly top and bottom, so this is it, okay, and we're putting 1 tab on one side of the score line and 1 tab on the other side of the score line, and you will have to leave that to dry before you do anything with the elastic band or rubber band. Okay, so that's on that one, so that can still fold. I'm going to do exactly the same on this other score line, so I'm going to put glue on the 2 tabs, okay, and then I'm going to center it, put 1 tab on one side of the score line and 1 tab on the other side of the score line, and hold that in place for a minute. And as I say, we'll have to leave that to dry before we can put the rubber band on. Okay, so while that's drying, we can actually put the cube together. To put the cube together, if you look at it from the top side, we're going to put glue on this side here and on this tab here. So that tab and that tab. And on the other side, it's the same. We're going to put glue on that tab and that tab. But we'll do one side at a time. So if I put glue on this tab, and then hold that in place for a minute. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same on this side. So this is the opposite on the bottom. So I'm going to glue it under the panel there. Now I have done a set of instructions to create this pop-up cube and the wallet that it goes in, and I've drawn templates and shown where you cut and score and everything, so but it's so it's quite an extensive tutorial. So that is actually going to have to go in that way, so if you can push the score in so it does that, okay, and then we're gonna at this point we can attach, and I'm using a yellow band here just so that it's really clear for you to see. I'm going to attach the band around the inside there of that one, okay, for you to see. So I've just popped it in there, okay, and I'm just going to leave that loose for the moment, and then I'm going to glue the other 2 panels in place to complete the cube. Okay, so I'm going to top glue on that side, okay, and then that's going to fold in, hold it a little bit longer. The Tombow is quite strong, but it just needs a little bit of holding time. The elastic just popped out. Okay, so pop that on that side, and then again on the opposite. The tricky thing is actually getting the elastic to go into place. I have to say, you need a little bit of patience for the next step that I'm going to show you, put in the elastic band in place. So, okay, so I've got that in place. So the elastic is going to have to go from this point and go around this hook here. Now you can try and do it straight with the box in this position and pop it on. Let's see if that works, because sometimes it's a bit tricky to get it hooked under. So you need 5 fingers. Oh, that's it. That's done that very well, quite simply. Oh, notice it's coming up on that side, so I'm going to just pop it around and under on that side. Okay, so it's going to look like that. Okay, hopefully you can see that clearly. So it's held in place, and as you can see, it's very springy. So what we're going to do now is we can glue this final tab here, okay, and these panels will push in, okay, to make the box go flat. So I can show you that now. You can see there, it'll go nice and flat. Okay, so I'm just going to put some glue, and this can be a little bit messy, but I'm going to put some glue on this panel here. And pop that under, okay, and hold it in place. And you'll feel, I was going to just say, you'll feel the tension of the box, and what you can do is you can push it flat and really get that glue to go into place. Okay, and there you have your pop-up cube. Now to decorate the cube you will need layers, and these are 2 1/4, I think. Yep, 2 1/4 squares that you can put on each of the panels. And then I've also taken the same 2 1/4 square and cut it in half, because you'll need to put triangles on the bottom bits. But I would score those first before gluing those in place, because obviously this is the moving mechanism and they will have to bend and flex. So you can score those just straight down the middle before gluing them in place. And I'll show you on my original. So I've scored them and they just flex. Okay? Right, so that's the cube. And to make the actual outer wallet, this bit here, you need a 7.5 inch by 5 1/4 inch piece of card, which I've got here. And you need to score it at 3 inches, 3.5 inches, 6.5 inches, and 7 inches. Okay, so let's have a look at that. So grab my scoreboard back. Move that out of the way. So we're going to score it at 3. 3.5, 6.5, sorry, 6.5 and 7. Scored that in the wrong place. So what I can do is put that back in at 6 1/4, I think is where I scored it, and just gently rub over the score to take it out. Doesn't take it out exactly, but it takes it out enough for it. And I'm going to be covering this up with decoration anyway, so there's a little trick. So then fold and burnish on the score lines. And then that's just going to get glued like that to create your wallet shape. Move the scoreboard out of the way. So if I run a bit of Tombow just along here, a little bit of eye there, pop that down on top, and then you can push that down, put that in place. Okay. Okay, and that's your sleeve. Like on the other piece you'll need, and this is 8¼ inches by 2 7/8. So what I've done is created a tab, and what will happen is your box will push flat and it will tuck in there, and then it's going to go inside the sleeve. And I've used the actually it's a trio corner punch that is retired to create this end, but what you'll do then is just pull that out and your box will pop up. So I have scored that at 1 3/4 and 2 1/4 to create that little sleeve. Okay, and that goes in, and then fold your box flat, pop that in and pull. Well, that was my first video, so thanks very much for watching. Thank you very much.